Sounds like crazy. All right, so I think I've got it figured back out. I guess that's what happens. You take about 45 days, 2 months off, and who knows what you have going on. So I would have totally forgotten to be here again. That's what happened last week. We got kind of crazy and everything, and the kids had me run to Walmart. We're in Walmart, and they're like, "Weren't you supposed to do live chat?" I was like, "Yes." And so Lottie came running in, and she's like, "Aren't you supposed to do a live chat again?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm supposed to do a live chat. Here I am." So I've been like catalog shopping for next year on the world of homeschooling, and looking at options and looking for book lists and the whole 9 yards. And I just lost track of time. And of course, my executive function for my ADHD is not behaving because I have other stuff I really need to get done. But hey, why do the things that need to get done when I can explore something out, 10 months in advance or 8 months in advance? So, oh my goodness. Let's make sure I got my computer set up right. Hello, twins at heart and family, born to book, creating essence. North to Alaska. Hi, Kathleen. I'm so excited to have you guys. And there's so many times like I've wanted to make a video about something, and I'm like, I'm really not ready to make a video. Do your math. I'm really not ready to do a video until I talk with you guys. I just feel like I don't really want to introduce all of these ideas. I'm sorry, I've got stuff at my feet. This idea and just like drop it on as a video without first having like the long drawn out conversation we do here. Carrie said, loved your lost my passion post, honest and humbleness. Thank you. Just had dental work and can't talk, but I can type. Yay. I hope that went well. I was really shocked because I did like the whole lost my passion as a whirlwind video. It wasn't, I have like 4 in the back of my mind that I just want to share with you. And I haven't, and I've been sitting down, I've been making notes, like, what do I really want to convey here? And I just had gotten done with church, and I was talking to one of my girlfriends at church, and we were discussing, because she's entered into the Mongol of social media. She's a wedding photographer. And so we were just discussing it, and I said, I thought when I started YouTube, I was going to like save the homeschool YouTube world in a way of, here's what you should do. And I can't begin to tell you how humbling it has been. And everything is like, here's what we're going to do. And I'm like, I don't like that. We're tired of it. We're bored. This isn't working this way. And I feel like, if you're going to come in as a know-it-all, you're going to tell everybody how to do everything, you better stick with what you do, right? And because of that, it humbled me. I just really thought I was going to come and be like, I'm going to get you on your homeschool path, and I'm going to do these things. And God just kind of showed me that's not his purpose with me. And as time has gone on, I've humbly realized I know what's good for me. I can't even begin. I have ideas that could help you, but you are the expert of you, not me for you. And I just kind of wanted to talk about that. It's like, sometimes you feel like I can't get onto YouTube unless I've got a problem that I can solve for you. And when you get kind of caught up into that context, you stop sharing. And that has happened to me where I've stopped sharing because I'm like, I don't have anything. I don't have anything I can tell you or solve for you. And the reality was just sharing, the keep on keeping on attitude has really been huge. And in the end, I just want to be a friend. I don't want to be your expert. You probably don't need an expert. You just want a friend. And it just kind of hit home for me that, like, you know what? That's good enough. And that's good. So when you come onto YouTube, what is it that you really love? What is it that you look for? What is it you want to see from me? I'm kind of curious about that. Tell me what you want to see from me. Because sometimes I'm like, aren't you tired of watching my we're going to get figured out kind of, thing? And sometimes I feel like maybe you're tired of seeing that. And tell me what you would like to see. I can tell you day in the life is far, far away in my world. Let me hit refresh on here, make sure that I'm getting comments. All of a sudden I think it froze up. So tell me you're here or not. Kind of deal. But just sometimes, you just kind of run into that aspect of like, what is it that, oh, see, I am missing. I like how real you are. Thank you. I don't know how to fake it. I will say, and I've said this before, I'm just not good about putting on a fake face to a fault. And I wish I was, but I'm not. I don't wish I was. I wish I was able to hide my emotions. So I know that I can't come on here and ever fake I'm okay. I better be okay, or I better tell you what is going on. I'm not going to be able to fake it. I like honesty. I like to see what's not working, what is. It's nice to know it's not just my homeschool and new books. I have so we're doing classical conversations this year. I will tell you, and I've already let it known, we won't be back next year. Logistically, it is so hard. And I don't know if it's logistically hard because I have 6 kids from entering high school next year to pre-K. Yeah, I'm going to have a 9th grader and a K4 in 1 year. I'm a little bit apprehensive. And so it's just hard. It's hard in so many levels. It's hard as a director plus 2 in challenge, and that's their first year in CC. Essentials, foundations. I got to teach one to read. I'm still potty training one because she's very stubborn. And honestly, I don't feel like I have enough control of the pace I need to go at certain times of the year. So that has been really, really hard. There's my girl, Erin. Love you, sister. Love you. Why not talk about about whatever's on your mind? Sometimes I feel like I'm just making noise. Sometimes I worry that I'm getting on here making noise. And I don't know. Sometimes I get caught up in my own head. And that tends to happen. She said she started YouTube. It wasn't about the viewers for me because I didn't even know folks would want to watch it. It was just a journal. Okay, so you don't get blessed. And I don't want to go because I'm on Erin because I love her to pieces. But she said something really phenomenal to me on Instagram. You're never going to find her on Instagram. She's private. That's the way that she likes it. But when she told me, because I was like, hey, I love where you get these ideas from. Keep them coming. And she's like, I'm here posting for me, not for you. She didn't say it like that. That's just a very abbreviated way. And correct me if I'm wrong. And I just was like this light bulb of, I could use Instagram as my own portfolio just to help me remember what we've done. And I was like, there's so many times I quickly forget. I have post-traumatic stress from back when I had my channel. I know. I love you. I love you, girl. I love her to pieces. Anyways, so not to go on Erin because I will totally, and then she'll be like, stop. And I was just like, what an idea. What a novel. Not really novel, but I didn't think of it. And I was like, I could be doing the same thing. That would be so helpful if I was doing that. Because sometimes I'm a little bit like, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm not sure how much I want to share of this. But to know I could probably make my own secondary channel that's just like our homeschool portfolio. There you go. And so, I don't know. So, anyways, logistically, I've talked to several moms at the community, and they're like, well, what happens if you went to a closer community? What happens if you did this? You know, I really like CC. I really like classical conversations. I really like the approach that they do to things. I really like the curriculum that they pick. I really, really enjoy the program. However, I don't think I'll ever enjoy any program that isn't me directed solely, and I'm not big about having to keep up with somebody else's schedule. I've never been, Erin, you're phenomenal. I love you, girl. Love you. Anyways, and I just kind of realized like I like this, and then it got me kind of think, and so a lot of people, I I think what I'm trying to say is with classical conversations, you're either all in or you're struggling to survive. And we're all in and we're giving it everything we can give it to do, but it's so hard to just keep up. It's not our natural rhythm. And there's certain days and weeks that I've just wanted to hit pause, but you can't. And I can't because I'm directing it and I have to maintain that standard. And it's like, oh, that might not be so good. And I've also had the realization this week. Now we're into week 13. We have 2 weeks left. So, and then we're done with the semester. We're done with half of our school year. I'm pretty impressed. And I'm a little bit like, I just want to put it all away. But that's a normal November mood for me. I know come the middle of November, I'm a bit tired of it all. And I've kind of figured out, you know what? I need to do better that schedule I schedule our stuff out so that come the second week in November, I'm done. I am done. And I want to just take a break until Christmas. And Christmas is over. We're ready to hit it. But until then, I'm done. I'm good. And I think that's every year. And whenever I try to push through the month, I start wanting to drop it like a hot potato. I'm like, let's find new curriculum. I'm done. And I'm always burnt out. And I just need to break. Erin says, Cookie Crumb here. Yay, Cookie Crumb's here. Erin says, my bestie was in CC for 7 years. It's a lifestyle, not for everybody. It is not for everyone. And she was committed to the process. I'd fall off. I like the ideas of it. And there's, so many parts to be at. I like it. I think if we would have started from the beginning, we probably would be pretty hardcore. But that's just not our style. It's too late. And to be honest, my body and my heart and my soul and my mind is just craving a slower life. And this has been kind of one of the topics I've been toying around with, was setting your standard of excellence for your homeschool is one I really want to kind of hit on. Because one of the things I've seen being at that level and that style is I'm watching a lot of parents who are keeping their children very busy for the point of being busy. I'm watching a lot of students that are just breaking their clocks and their hearts, just killing it. But I feel like sometimes they're so caught up in the daily task of killing it, they've lost the knowledge and the desire for what purpose and what's the end goal here. And we get into rigor and vigor. Rigorous, rigor mortis, stiff, hard, vigorous with vigor, with vitality, with life. And I sit on that a lot. Like, which one do we live by? And one of the things we've struggled with is the beginning of challenge felt very vigorous. There was a lot of really excitement to it. But as the time goes, there's this rigor that's setting in to just get it done, get it done, get it done. You have deliverables you need to deliver. And that has started just to really break down in our home, not really fitting in. We don't have to do it all. That's the other part too. We don't need to do it all. This is all optional. it's optional, but it's not optional. This is the goal we set. But I think at the level, we figured out challenge A, you write 10 persuasive papers to go with 10 books, something like that. You're learning Latin. Now you're learning a half credit of Latin. One of the things I've been looking at as we've been discussing, because we're starting the high school thinking, the planning, the forethought of high school. And we're starting to talk about high school credits. And the really cool part is we figured out, it's right here. Literally, there's half the book. This is equivalent to 1 year of high school. This is equivalent to the second year of high school for Latin. And we're getting through half of the book. And then if they did challenge B through classical conversations, they would repeat this the first semester and do this the second. So they would finally finish up a whole Latin credit. So as we're looking at this stuff, it is a lot. It is intense. It is kind of fast. And we enjoy parts of it. I don't know what she's doing. As we enjoy parts of it, the overwhelming accumulation of things is drowning. It's been so drowning. And I'm looking at this set of excellence that is kind of being put out there. And I'm like, for what benefit? For what benefit? Sometimes I wonder, it's almost as though we're trying to create valedictorian of our high school program, and yet there's only one student there. We're chasing this academic race that's being like, well, you homeschool, so you're going to be so much better. And we're trying to maintain some idealism. Will you take her so she doesn't distract me? You want a free little break? You two go for a walk. Because that little one will make me lose my ever-loving little mind. She will just do my thing. We're going to go for a walk. We're going to have a lot of screaming because it wasn't her idea. She is being mean is what she was told. They're going to go for a walk. You're going to go get a drink first? Look, she's very upset. Very upset. Okay, so let me just kind of step back here. Born the book agrees with Aaron about CC. They did CC at home a while back and it didn't fit. I couldn't imagine a community. Trishy is from California. So glad she caught me live. I'm glad you're here. Sarah says, you're speaking my love language. It's such a difficult balance. Aaron says, being so close to my first homeschool graduate, I totally see where I went wrong. What matters the most is the 3 R's: critical thinking, time management, note taking, and writing. Yes, yes, yes. Everything else is fluff. Yeah, I think I need a meme for that, Aaron. I'm going to have to make a meme of just amazingness there. We're really overthinking the small stuff. I agree. I've been watching you for a very long time, but was not a homeschooler. This past May, my son was diagnosed with leukemia, so we've been having to homeschool. Oh, Julie. Okay, we got to put him in the prayer list. I got to find my paper. I got to find my paper. I don't even know if I got a pencil. I might have to find it. I'm going to steal my daughter's so I can remember to pray for you. All right, Julie's son. Julie Davis. Son. Leukemia. Sorry, I know. I get so just like off track. I'm so thankful for your guidance. Even though we don't know each other, your videos have always been helpful, especially when things get overwhelming. Very true. Very true. My girls are in challenge B and 3, 2, and really praying about next year as well. So many curriculums do not teach life skills. That's what our children need. And then Darcy says, so happy to be here. Almost missed you. I almost missed me too. Just say it because I kind of forgot. I do have academic excellence goals, but definitely shouldn't put everything all on myself. The child has to buy into their own success. Their commitment level will make or break the goals. Okay, so that was a discussion I was having with a girlfriend of mine because her son is in the Air Patrol program, and he is just like hitting every mark. Anything he puts his mind to, he's doing, and he's blasting levels that the area and the community he's been in has never seen before. And now all of a sudden, he became a target that all these moms are pushing their children to be just like him. And my girlfriend's a bit overwhelmed by this whole process. And overwhelmed in some parts because she's like, we're not trying to compete. Why are you competing with us? And I'm like, well, you need to realize like now they have an example to try to repeat from. So this is good stuff. But she's like, these moms aren't understanding that they always slam that door. Bless their hearts. They're always trying to say, well, how did you get him to do this and do that? And she's like, you have to understand this is his passion. And that's just it. If there's a program, or if there's something that's not their passion, then you can set every goal you want and it's hardly ever going to be met. Or you won't set any goals. And if there's something that's their passion, they are self-propelling themselves to where they want to be. Sometimes it's good enough, and most times it's good enough. Let's say take 4-H, because I'm a 4-H mama loving mom out there. But there's going to be some areas your child's just going to want to go and attend. And there's going to be times and topics that your child wants to go and lead. If all their interest level is to attend, there's nothing you can do to make anything happy to get them to lead. That's not their passion. If all you want to do is attend and your child has a passion to lead in that topic, there's nothing you can do to slow them down. They're going to go for it, kind of deal. And so that's been kind of some of the things I have been struggling with. And I don't quite know how to put it out in words. And I'm still mulling it over in my brain and with God in my heart, that I haven't wanted to say, here's where I'm at. Because the moment I do, I will have many wonderful ones that will give me their experience. They will give me encouragement. And then there's going to be those that open up and they start saying, well, that's because you're not doing this right. And even though I know how to ignore those voices, I like to wait a little bit before I put it out there in that public forum of here's what I'm thinking, kind of deal. So I've been like really giving a lot of thought to academic excellence in what I want for my kids and what I want them to have and what is my minimum. And my new kind of thinking of things is, if this is my minimum, let's sprinkle some excellence, season our homeschool with excellence, and give them a place to strive for. But this is what I need as a minimum. And that has changed our tone a lot. We definitely are finishing this year out through classical conversations with the realization, once we're done, we can take a deep breath and rest. We're looking for that. And in fact, 2 weeks, we're done with the semester and we can rest until January. Now we have some math to catch up on. We have some Latin to catch up on. And we have a few other things to catch up on. But for the most part, we can rest. And that's what we absolutely need, is rest. And so keep things clicking where they need to click. I want a slower life. As I said, I'm kind of missing, I wish I was a 90s mom. Now I wish I had the wherewithal, and everything I've got, and be able to just kind of take a step back, rest, relax, and still be ambitious with each other. I keep speaking to my daughter. We have enjoyed Latin. And I didn't expect it would be enjoyable. My son struggles with it, but in fact, I'm more interested in him having a discipline foundation using Latin as that tool versus learning Latin. My daughter loves it. I've already asked, are you sure you want to do this next year? And she does want to do this next year. So she wants to do this next year again. I'm still trying to do my research to figure out how we can we test out and make this a credit? Can we give this as high school credit that the college would recommend or recognize? And I'm looking into that aspect. I think there's a CLEP maybe. So I've been looking at those aspects. So if she wants to do that, she can. I think Florida Virtual does a Latin class. And so I'm weighing out, do we keep going this round and give her another year of it to go on her own, or do we plug into the virtual school to give her that college, that high school credit her college needs? You know, just looking at those options. Aaron says, I love that you're talking about kind of like a tier system or level system of excellence, and love it. Thank you. Like here's base level and here is a step above that here is over the top. Right. Lori says, just emailed you. I'm glad I didn't miss it. Thank you. Happy to see you too, Amber. Yeah, so some of the look into the national, and also there is, yes. So I've been kind of toying with that, and I've been, you know, in many ways, I'm kind of spending this year going, let's research everything I can. Here's my bottom level. Here's my top level. So with that, I have spent a lot of time going, so what would be a better curriculum? I've done so many curriculums. What I know for certain is I cannot go back to a workbook. I cannot put my kids back in a workbook. Our ADHD doesn't care about a workbook. We're not interested. One of the things we've actually gotten to the point we crave and we don't have time is reading. We miss reading. We miss having time to just free read for several hours a day. Doing CC has made that hard. I'm so sorry. I have to switch it. So I will tell you guys, I think next week, my 4 eyes will be here. I've had such a hard time seeing, and I'm actually catching a glare that I'm a little bit like, can you? I've actually got more wrinkles on this eye because this eye sees worse than that one. And I found that I've been reading stuff like this. I look like a pirate. Sorry. So anyways, got totally distracted because my eyes get so exhausted, and I've been noticing that for a while, and I got tested and I'm nearsighted, and apparently it all comes with age. So, and I'm getting progressives because I need both. So I've been looking at like what it is we need and we're kind of hungry for, and we're really hungry for just sitting down and reading, spending time reading. I realized our big things are we need copy work involved to really tone in our what is it? To tone in our memorization. We're not good at memorizing. There's the dog. He's barking again. He's always barking. Protecting the kids. So I've been looking at all of them and weighing, and I've been looking at My Father's World and looking at Sunlight again and looking at all the different things that we could do. And I just realized we should probably go back to like a Sunlight style. You know, Sunlight style, when I looked at the reading levels on the books, they're not super high, you know, and yet it says on paper, there's your high school credit. And so I kind of look at it, I'm like, we can sit and read these. We can talk about the questions. We can move on without having to be, you know what I mean? Without being so like hardcore. We can audible some of these books if we need to, which is really nice, and still have great conversations. I can't wait to actually make a video, and I'll probably do that once class is over, that there's some curriculum we have loved this year. Lost Tools of Writing has been phenomenal. And I like the Lost Tools of Writing. And so a lot of books, I really want to take a very persuasive writing approach to it and actually weigh out, like, let's find, should something have happened, and let's weigh it out and really discuss those in a depth of kind of logic-based thinking skills along with the ideas of writing. And so I feel like at one point I was thinking, do I just buy the books and skip the guide? And in thinking about that, I've decided not to do that. It wouldn't actually benefit me. It'd be worth buying, getting that information into, it would just be too much work for me. And that's what I have to be very careful about, is that there's a lot of things I'm capable of, but in this season, I'm still not capable of to do. In fact, one of the ideas that we were discussing just the other day, it was, I really had this desire coming into August. I just wanted to be plugged in outside of my house. I feel like my kids are grown enough. Now we can finally do stuff. In spending my time doing stuff and running around, I realized, oh, I mistook that little bit of energy I now have that I wasn't used to as though I have enough energy to do all this. And I'm like, I don't. And realizing I really don't have all the energy. And coming into, I could try and piece something together, but there's just a lot of comfort knowing I can just kind of grab and I can edit and tailor. And that's one of the big things I've learned through CC this year, is learning that I can tailor curriculum, and the aspect of we can keep moving on. We don't have to wait till every box is checked before we move on to the next lesson. Those have been huge things I've learned this year. So one of the things I got caught up doing and kind of lost track of time, I'm not going to lie, I lost track of time and what day it was, is looking at next year's ideas. And I really like the sunlight idea. We're going to do American history. And the way I'm going to set it up is I'm going to, at this moment, who knows what May will bring. But I've been really toying with the ideas and then exploring, is doing American history for 9th grade and then pairing the rest of my children up in that lower level American history, all compact 1 year, condensed. We don't need to spread it out. No real curriculum outside of reading, writing, and arithmetic for my lower people. My little people, I have a 1st grader and a pre-K-er. That's okay, because they're going to get a lot of good stuff in the American history. So we'll be doing 2 cores, but as I can, please don't slam that door. Will you hold on to it nice and soft? So going on that aspect, but then kind of going, that's our bottom level. And when I say bottom level, I'm saying we're going to read the books. We're going to read all those books. We're going to spend time. We're going to have a couple discussions. That's our bottom. And then from there, how do we sprinkle in excellence? And I will tell you what, it is busy being a 5-year-old. Now he's up. Why are you hiding?
Wasn't me.
It wasn't him. Was it? What's going on?
He thought I wasn't following you.
All right, get your math done. A life. So, ways I've been looking at sprinkling it in. So for American history, I've actually gone and looked at the Challenge 1 book for classical conversations, and I looked at their reading list, and I'm like, we should probably sprinkle some of that in, and that just might be a book box to go ahead and add more. And then one of my favorites, Cheryl Bistain, she has the Celebrate High School. I should do that one. If you guys have, let me pull that up. If you have had any chance of getting this book, get it. Get it, get it, get it. It is just a great amount of information to go from. I love this book. This is one of my favorite books. And so she has an amazing list of like American literature books that you would use that colleges want to see. So the big part is, I know how I want them to go to college. I mean, I'm good. We're going to go to the local community college first. I don't even think they call it a community college anymore. And I'm hoping we'll take some dual enrollments and hopefully get, okay, so let me go back here. Yeah, and here's her book. Should I do the hashtag AF? It's an affiliate link. But anyways, she has this amazing list of American history that, that are great to be seen. And so I'm sprinkling some of those books. So I'm going to have the Sunlight and the Sunlight schedule. And then I'm going to have a book basket with all these other great books. And adding those. Now, Bookshark and Sunlight, they're pretty much the same book list. There might be a few extras that we'll go over there and grab. So I was looking at all that, and I'm like, this is how we will sprinkle in more. And maybe we'll practice and we'll learn to write literary discussions. And maybe her history will be a beautiful journal. You need headphones. Beautiful journal of things that were put in. And the really cool part is Bubba's going to do it with her. So he'll do it as an 8th grade. She'll do it as a 9th grade. And he may either really step it up and make it 9th grade level work, or it'll just be 8th grade level work. And so I keep kind of weighing those things out. So the very top tier of that class that we'll do next year, say for history, is I'm going to buy the CLEP books for American literature and American history. I'm going to buy the 2 CLEP books, and the top tier is you went and you got college credit through it. So I keep kind of looking at it that way. That's the ultimate, like, here's the high possibility to do this. But if we only do the Sunlight material, then that's enough. And just figuring out where it fits would be the best. Oop, hold on. Where we fit the best kind of deal. And going into that, I got to let her know I'm live. But I think they're going to come over and help me move a couch. That'd be pretty cool. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. So I kind of am looking at those ideas and toying with those ideas. Toying with Latin. Do we want to continue Latin through Henley? Do I want to buy the Magistry, from her stuff? Do I want to buy it? I already bought it. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. I'm doing Latin with Andy. Do I want to beef up this, or do I want to go through Florida Virtual? Do I want to have her try and CLEP? What is it we want to do? She wants to do this. She wants to do Latin, and running with those kind of things. So coming up with those kind of ideas, I'm really toying around. But because of all of this, and because of how quickly I like to change curriculum, which I'm not changing curriculum this year, is I will not order anything unless I look at the catalog. I have changed it's so easy to get discontent, and I've done this in the past so many times, especially because it's November. It tends to happen where I will just order something. It shows up 4 days later, and now I got new stuff I just spent a couple $100 on. I'm like, what was I thinking? Why do I have this? And then 2 weeks into it, I'm like, I don't want this. I could have thought myself out of this. So now I'm like, there'll be nothing you are allowed to order until you get a catalog. End of story. So I've kind of just sat and played with that. But let me go back to my friend Cheryl Bistain. She is amazing. I met her 5 years ago. Yes, you can do Florida. I'm sorry, I'm swapping gears. All right, let me go back to stay on Cheryl Bistain. So she has a pile of kids, more than me. She's got an extra 10 years on me for experience. She is teaching children to read, and she has married children off. That wide of a range. Amazing, amazing insight. Amazing insight. And she has written the book to celebrate high school. And it has good middle school stuff. It has good stuff about taking tests and what tests to take, applying for some scholarships, and just kind of wrapping your head where you're going to go. Really high-end expectations you could have and take it there, or just meet the minimum. She definitely gives you that range. There's so many amazing things. And she's a homeschool mom like us, who has the wherewithal to write and share her information in book form so you can put it on your shelf and use it over and over and over again. So she's written this on Amazon, and Amazon will not show it up in a search if you type homeschooling help until she has 50 reviews. So go over there and take a look. Take a look if you can. Go check her out. I think I did a video with her a year or so ago at the homeschool convention. You could go meet her that way. And if you can, go drop her a line in her reviews, just sharing about her, just so she can get that feed up. And so she's been struggling with that, getting that feed up on there. Okay, so let me go back and do a little review, and then I kind of got to go. I don't mean to make this really quick, small, short. I definitely want us to pray for Julie's son, who's home with leukemia. But I got to keep up. I got to catch up. Coming back from that exam, I just kind of wanted to wipe out, exhausted kind of deal. Okay, because Erin, I'm loving that Erin's so chatty today because she has so much good information. So yes, there is a National Latin exam. And you can also do AP and SAT, and you can do SAT subject test. And I'm trying to figure out where that fits. And then I had somebody tell me that you have to do 2 years of a modern language in order to have the colleges accept it. But I know they have to be consecutive. You have to take them year after year on there kind of deal. Yes, homeschool for 2. I'm back. My eyes are so tired. And that's part of it too. My eyes are getting really tired. So Erin says they're dual enrolling. They're CTC math. I like CTC math. That is good stuff. And if you're going to do it through the Homeschool Buyers Co-op. Time for learning, time for writing. Next semester, they're taking a couple of Georgia virtuals for AP courses. That is so cool. I'm a manager, not a direct teacher. She's a coach. This is one of my favorite parts about the way Erin homeschools. She doesn't teach as though I'm your teacher. She teaches on the concept of I'm your manager and coach. And I'll tell you what, if I could go do a week with her and get that training, I would be the better for it, because that is always the approach I'm taking, that we sometimes have problems. And some of our problems I've come to realize, and I'm beginning to admit, have a lot to do with ADHD, not the lack of desire or laziness. And we're not just climbing the uphill battle on amazing things to learn and put into our brain and make our own, but we're also building the uphill battle on how to cope and handle our brain connections. So it goes both ways, and realizing I'm taking on 2 tasks at one time, not just the one to teach my children. So Lone Star says, she's so glad I'm back. Thank you. Carrie says my son's prep school had a great curriculum, but too intense, 8 hours a day, 4.5 to 5 hours of homework a night, and it was sucking the life out of us. Yes, I know. Trish says there are many literature-based programs to love Sunlight, but didn't work for my kids. I'm thinking, here's my thoughts. I've come close to just buying the books and not the guide. I'm going to tell you, I will probably use the guide as a grain of salt to the whole thing and fix it to be mine, but use it as my spine to know what direction at what speed to go. Because sometimes I could overwhelm us with unrealistic expectations that I don't realize are unexpected. Erin says, with all the other kids down to a toddler, I was kidding myself and believing I could direct teach anything with my high schoolers. I was getting her off schedule with her waiting on me. Yes. And that's one of the hard parts too. And I've talked about that. Is this going to be so overwhelming? I'm sorry, the dog's barking. I did this. It wouldn't be so overwhelming if I only had 2 in middle school or 3, the top 3. But having the range I have is messing with too many different parts of my brain to function sometimes. Darcy loves Lost Tools of Writing. I love Lost Tools of Writing. It's definitely worth having. It's just really a great way to think about things. And I like the dressing up. I definitely see for next year, like I can already tell you, Sunlight Language Arts, I'm not using it. I'm not interested in it. I like the book list. That's good, but that's it. After doing Lost Tools of Writing, I can definitely see stepping back to do IEW as a good solid year to really make the Lost Tools of Writing a much more easier process. And we're going to do that next year. And before I had a hard time getting forward with the Lost Tools of Writing. And again, this is where I feel like I'm getting so much amazing training through CC that I realized it's okay for me to do lesson 1 and then they do lesson 2. And then together we do lesson 3 and do more hand holding through that. And sometimes it's okay just to do the keyword outline, understand the dress ups, and maybe not get the paper written. And that's been a huge one. I've learned a lot from a lot of the moms that are in 3rd year. They're like, first year, you don't write every paper. The first year, you do that. You get closer the 2nd year. You write half the papers the 2nd year. The 3rd year, you try to write all the papers. And I was like, oh. And coming to that understanding about moving forward, I can't tell you how many times I've been just stick in the dirt about not being able to move forward because of the aspect that I just don't, you know what I mean? Like I felt like we had to do every little thing, and I've learned a lot from that. Carrie's got to go. Thank you for your insight. Well, thanks for sharing. Reading through history and Bookshark recommended book list. I like Sunlight and Ambleside online book list. Yes. Let's see. Thank you for thinking through this out loud with us. This is how I process things as well. So helpful. Well, thank you. Aaron says, isn't Florida Virtual a la carte? It is. If so, you can use it for some things and do some things else the rest. And I kind of look at it as our place for electives, possibly science as we get through there. But yes, it is a la carte. As a homeschooler with Florida Virtual, we can take the pieces of it. Lone Star says, even if you do change curriculum, so what? You're fine. Thought I wasn't going to make changes for my 9th grader, and I made many changes. And this is where I get to my big part. And I think this is where I'm finally changing. And I like the whole style of like that classical, we're going to be in this theme, is I know next year we're going to learn American history. We're going to read books. And my high schooler and the rest of my kids, we're all doing American history in a condensed version, and we're going to hit all the main parts. We're going to pull in cycle 3 memory work on those memory sentences. I'm pretty impressed with those. I like them. We're going to memorize our presidents. I see that. I think we're going to use sunlight as our spine to stay on task. But in the end, we're going to use whatever fits for us to get it done. And that's all we need to do. And I might change to more of a textbook fashion, and I might already own that book. I might decide we're going to move forward in the main themes of things and read everything we can and then write an essay about it. But in the end, we're doing American history. And that should not change, I hope. Because then we're in trouble, right? Then we're in trouble. And everything else can change. Maybe you don't have to go all in with one thing. Yeah, Erin, we need to talk on the phone about that. You need to I need some therapy for that. She was on Joranda Wilson's Unhurried Homeschool Pass. Love her. Oh, I'm going to have to look that up, Vix. Also, Trish, when you plan for your high school start, from the college backwards or technical program backwards? And that's what and that's one of the things, and that's awesome, because that's one of the things we've been talking about. When it all comes down to it, what do we need to do college? They're going to stay close to home. They're going to get their AA. Financially, that's the most feasible thing. So whatever we can do to start knocking that out and dealing with those credits so that they're finished and are accomplished, the better. And so we're kind of looking at the AA going, here's the bachelor's, AA, high school diploma, here we are today. Ooh, I'm going to have to go soon. And so because of that, I keep keeping that back in mind. And that's where I got into don't go over the board crazy. Making just so much work each and every day for your child and miss the part of well, what's my goal? Where am I supposed to get to? They've come to look at the puppies. Also, Trish, when you plan for high school, okay, start backwards. If you're doing a community college, you may not need an ACT or an SAT, right? Zara PhD is a minimal homeschool YouTuber I watch. Ooh, I'm going to have to look her up. Zara PhD. All right, have you looked into Knot and Grass? Ray wrote a living textbook. We love it. Every time. Every time. Do you have a site where you sell any of your curriculum? I donated all my curriculum this last time. My local people, I just was like, here you go. Glad I got to catch you. Been missing you. Thanks. Gotta go. I know. I gotta get going too. I'm so sorry. Howdy. Just dropping by. No kids, but homeschooling is necessary. Our public school's broken in many, many ways. My mom did nothing to prep me for college. I took the SAT, filled out the FAFSA, and I was gone. I taught myself everything while being there. I ended up going to a rich private school. Ooh, that's nice. Yes, definitely check out Notting Grass. There are elementary, middle school levels. Yeah, I will, and I'll check that out because I'm not fine-tuned on anything. We're just doing American history next year. And that's my thing too, is my kids are way more advanced than I was. I took a ACT. I think I took the ACT the week after high school ended. I actually got bored and went to a community college, and I enrolled, and I immediately started that summer. I did fine. And I'm like, my kids are more advanced than I am, and they have skills above what I had at the time. And I kind of keep keeping that in mind when I go through things. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to pray for you. And we're going to pray for Julie Davis with her son that he heals. And I shall see you next week, as long as my daughter reminds me. All right. Thank you. Well, I'm glad, and we had great info to share. All right, here we go. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this time to come together, Lord. Thank you for restoring my heart with this conversation, dear Lord. And I hope that the information we've discussed today provides bountiful information for everybody else. Dear Heavenly Father, be with Julie Davis, his son, as they've embarked this homeschool journey for the fact of health needs, dear Lord, and just provide for them and encourage them, and let your will be done, dear Lord. Let your will be done in all of ours. Let our eyes see your will in our life, dear Lord. Let our feet trust to go along the path that you like for us, dear Lord. You have so many different paths on how to get this done, and you have so many different intentions, dear Heavenly Father. And I'm just so thankful that you take us individually and you lead us on the path that you want on this homeschool journey, dear Lord, and on this mothering journey, and just be with each and every one of us this week as we go out and do your work in a very small little corner of our world. And just, Lord, help us make our corner of the world just better. In your son's precious name I pray. Amen. All right, you guys, I will talk to you later. Aaron, I love you so much. You have been so much help, and I love it that you bless my space here, my little corner of the world here on YouTube when you come and join us, because you're so much of a wealth. And I just have to put that out there because she doesn't YouTube. All right, I will see y'all soon. Bye.